I first got started with these calls, it was really just, looking forward to it, because I knew that not only I was going to get inspiration and knowledge, but I was going to get just a great way to start my day, a great way to start my morning. And I was looking forward to these because I knew that garbage in was garbage out and greatness in was greatness out. And how you start your day, right, it's going to set the tone for your day. It is going to set the entire mood of your day. And it is super important. So I'm not going to take up too much more of everybody's time this morning, because it's not about me. It is definitely about we. And we have the honor of having one of these powerhouse dynamic individuals. Smita's been a part of our lifestyle club for a few years, actually, breaking records. She has a prior background as a corporate in Marriott, has a real estate background, investor background, just a powerhouse. Today, she's not only a six-figure earner, marketing director, she just hit director on her second spot. Because of other engagements that were kind of like unannounced, her teammate's not going to be able to join us today. However, she is going to be able to highlight his success and everything that's pretty much going on in her organization and how they're just rocking and rolling. So, Smita, if you could just kind of tell the people, where you were when you saw WV and a little bit about you, right? Because not everybody knows who you are. Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, Pam, how are you? Hi, everyone. Good morning. Thank you guys for jumping on. I know it's early. It's early for me, y'all, but I'm excited to be here with you guys today. So as Pam said, I saw WV about 4 years ago, and I was working for Marriott Corporate at the time. I'm based out of Bethesda. I was working in Bethesda, Maryland. I live in Bowie, Maryland. And I saw this concept from a very good friend of mine, Keith Willis. Some of you guys may know him. He's an IMD in the company. He's an absolute rock star. And I had known Keith for years prior to World Ventures. And I didn't get a presentation. I was one of those, give me your credit card, I'm going to change your life type of scenarios. And I just trusted him. But I did kind of wonder, like, what am I paying $520 for? And then I just literally, I started on a Sunday. And that's when I officially got into the system. And by Monday, I was signing people up. So people always ask me, how did you get off to a fast start? I just followed my leader. Keith was obviously rocking and rolling, and he got off to a fast start. So I just did what he told me to do. And I just started sharing this with everybody. I didn't even know I just kept handing him applications. I didn't know how to put anybody in the system. I was just what we call ignorance on fire, but I was excited. And when I saw this, I was already making six figures at Marriott. And I have my own real estate investment company, so I was making six figures through that. And I have an online beauty business. I have an import-export business dealing with wholesale clothing. So I had my hands in a lot of different things. I was super busy, and financially, from the outside looking in, somebody could easily have written me off from World Ventures and said, she's already successful, she doesn't need the business, or she already has a travel discount, she's not going to sign up for this. But, as our training teaches us, show everybody, because you just never know who's going to say yes and for what reason. You don't know what people are praying for. Sometimes people don't even know what people are praying for until they see this, right? And so for me, I was completely time broke at the time. And, I always say, you've heard me say it, if you've heard me present, I'm a firm believer, and I don't care how much money you make. If you don't have the time to spend that money and live the quality of life that you truly want to live, to me, that's not being successful. So I had to figure out a way for me personally to get out of that corporate rat race and to live life on my terms and to have that time freedom, which I don't believe you can put a price tag on. So when I saw this at the time, I came in as a platinum rep. It was almost double the price of what it is right now to come in. And to me, I just was like, okay, fine, whatever, because I know, what it normally costs to start a business. And that, to me, again, you couldn't put a price tag on what this business, I saw the potential in it and what it could give me. So I was all in. And I was able to hit senior rep in 33 days of joining, again, not knowing anything, not knowing what I was doing. And honestly, at that time, Keith was fairly new too. He was only a few months in. So, he didn't have all the answers. And when I came in, I was asking a bunch of questions, but it didn't prevent me. And I didn't use that as an excuse of, well, he doesn't really know, or I don't really know, so I'm just not going to do anything. No, I literally sat there and read my comp plan backwards and forwards. I called corporate if I had questions that Keith couldn't answer. I found the answers. I proactively went out there and did my homework to learn this product and learn this business. So as I went because I was so excited and I was sharing at such a fast rate. So as I was out there talking to people, it didn't cut into my credibility because I didn't know what I was talking about. That's what I didn't want to come off as, like, I'm trying to get you to buy into something that I don't even know about myself. So I made sure, I tried to educate myself as much as possible on what I had in front of me, my product, my business. And I think that definitely helps. So senior rep in 33 days, director in 8 months, and marketing director within 2 years. And prayerfully, regional marketing director coming up here very, very soon. So that's my WV career in a nutshell. Pam, if there's other things that you want
Yes,
to
thank
talk
you
about.
so much. That was beautiful because a lot of people are just brand new. They don't know your story, right? They don't know pretty much, how was your journeyman. And that's impressive because it just goes to show that it doesn't matter like what your background is, right? It doesn't matter what your, a career background, what your career path, like anybody and everybody needs a blessing, right? And like you said, you were just ready to escape the rat race. And wow, talk about such a fast start, right? Absolutely incredible. So thank you for sharing. So I see that, you're having a lot of growth on your team and there's just massive momentum. And I noticed that it was sort of like that or kind of like that right before United. And then after United, it just took it to a whole nother level. So you could kind of just talk about like what's going on your team prior to United and then after, and kind of, this is a robust question, right? It's a 2-part question. So, and also, if you wouldn't have had so many new people at training, because I know we were talking about, and that was like, you're like, yeah, I had so many new people there. What do you think your business would be looking like now?
Okay. All right. Let me start from the beginning. So, yes, we've had in my organization specifically, we've had a lot of momentum recently. So what I will say for those of you guys who don't know me, I am part of Get Paid Nation, GPN. Shout out to all my GPN team members that are on the call, which also Team Rhino is a part of that. So Team Rhino Worldwide, shout out to you guys. And then my immediate team is called Willis Strong. So shout out to all my Willis Strong team members that are on the call. Thank you guys for logging in. But so my team, Willis Strong, founded by Keith Willis himself, that's our culture. That is just they always say the speed of the pack is determined by the speed of the leader. And Keith has done an amazing job of just drilling into us that fast is fun and slow sucks. And guys, that's exactly how our culture is. We thrive on building and building fast. And so when we don't have momentum, like I know personally for me, if I don't have momentum, I'm like, what's going on? This is weird. I don't like this. So that is, if I hit a plateau, it's because I haven't had momentum in like a month or two. People will go years for that. That is just not our culture. So I think, he set the bar high, and that's what we all strive to achieve. So for us, if I go for a little while, maybe like a month or so without feeling like I have momentum, I am already starting to put new people in. And that's exactly what happened to me. Right after momentum training in January, I kind of felt like I was hitting a little bit of a wall where, I was trying to motivate my team members. I was trying to kind of build through them. And I was getting frustrated because, as we all know, anybody who is coming up the ranks in World Ventures, anybody who's been building World Ventures, you guys know, I think one of the hardest parts about this business is wanting it for people more than they want it for themselves. And for me, I think that has, even though I'm a complete red, at the end of the day, I'm human. I have emotions, and we put our friends and family in this business and the people that are closest to us, and we want to see them win so bad, and we want to do it together. But unfortunately, you can only do it with the people that really want to do this thing. Roscoe said something a long time ago, IMD Roscoe Taylor. He said, you got to take the life raft and throw it back to anybody who wants it. But ultimately, you got to save yourself first, right? And so what I realized was that, if I really wanted to reach my goals, and if I really wanted to get to that next level, because I know a lot of us are probably at that point where we're like, okay, what do I need to do to get to that next level? the best thing I can tell you is you got to be your own ace. Don't wait around for somebody to come and save your business. You have to save your own business. And so for me, you hear it all the time, you know, go put in new blood. When things aren't moving, that's when you've got to make the move. And so I just went in and put a whole bunch of new people in. And from that pool of new people that came in, we had kind of a resurgence. I had a resurgence in my business, and I was able to sign up a few individuals actually that are doing great, but one in particular, who was supposed to be on the call, but unfortunately, like Pam said, we had some unforeseen obligations, so it was a scheduling conflict. But David Patterson, he's a good friend of mine. I've known him for 15 plus years. I tried to share this opportunity with him about a year ago, and he wouldn't take my call. Like, we normally talk about other stuff, but for this particular thing, he had been in network marketing before. So I think he saw it coming, like this was probably another MLM opportunity. And so he avoided it. He just kind of skirted around the issue, and he never got on a call. Well, when the pandemic hit, he's a photographer. He has his own photography business, and everything came to a halt for him because his business required social interaction. And because of the social distancing order, he wasn't able to function. And I knew that. So I reached out to him. So that's a nugget right there, guys. Think about all the people who have businesses that require them to be, interacting with clients. Their businesses are either a lot slower or just non-existent right now. So they are definitely looking for something. And that was what Dave was doing. And I knew that. So I reached back out to him. And I said, okay, now are you ready to listen? And he said, okay, fine. You've got my attention. He signed up Platinum Rep on the spot. And literally within 12 days, he hit the level of 3-star rep. So 12-12 within 12 days. And that's because one thing I told him, and I tell everybody now that comes into my organization as a rep, is if you're going to become a rep with my team, and I can only speak for my team, right? As like the company, you can do whatever you want to do, but on my team, as for me and my team and my household, if you're going to come in as a rep, you have to plug into training. You have to get your training ticket. So that was a non-negotiable. So and again, what you do and what you tell your new reps as they sign people up, they're going to tell their new reps the same exact thing. So it just duplicated down the line. So he started signing up people quickly, but guess what? We started signing them up for training as well. And luckily it was just perfect timing. All these folks, this new blood that I was putting in, the new blood that Dave was putting in, it was right before United. And so everybody got their United tickets. We had a lot of new reps on that call, and it just got them so fired up. I can't even imagine what because they were calling me so excited after United. I'm thinking that was nothing compared to a live event. So I can't even imagine what they're going to be like at boot camp. But what it did was it gave them just the fundamentals they needed and the right, the mindset that they needed to get going in this business, to not worry about the rejection from people, because, sometimes very early on, that's what takes people out the game. But when you hear from people that are making millions in this business, double IMDs that are like, I got rejected so many times, and you hear that in the very, very beginning of your business, you're like, oh, okay, cool. So when you get a no, or you feel that same feeling, you're like, there are people that are super successful in this business that went through the same thing. They overcame it. And so that's been, that was a beauty for me, for my new reps in training, is that they got to hear from the top leaders who experienced some of the same obstacles that they experienced very early on, how they overcame it, and that, they're now at the top level of this company. So it was such a blessing to be able to get those new reps on that United training call. They're already registered for boot camp, so they're super excited. But yeah, so Pam, to answer your question, I think the biggest thing has been to, when we put those new people in, to get them going right away, to plug them into our proven system, to fast start training, and to duplicate, so that they understand, like, I can't stress that enough to my new reps, is that the key to this business is duplication. The key is they're going to do what you do, not necessarily what you say. So one, to lead by example, and then two, just to duplicate that and teach them how to teach their new reps, so they can just, keep moving. And that's how you build momentum quickly in your organization.
Yes, super important, super important. I'm over here taking notes, man. It never gets old because you see how important training is, right? And the difference that it can have in somebody's organization, like immediately and long term, right? And it will definitely determine if somebody is going to have a little success, a lot of success, slow success, or fast success, right? So it's super, super important. So let's say I'm a brand new person getting started with you, right? What's the process?
Okay, the process is, and again, we have, I think, and I say this in my presentation when I talk about training, like, don't try to reinvent the wheel. We have a system already in place. We have a proven system already in place, and it's just about getting people plugged in to that, and also into the culture of World Ventures, because our culture, I love it. It's so embracing, it's so welcoming, and it's so supportive. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people will come into, especially network marketing and multi-level marketing companies, they come in and they quit because either the product isn't right, which we know we got the best product out there. So that's not an issue for us, but also just to have that level of support and to have somebody say, okay, this is how you do it. And to be able to have someone that can teach you. So I think if you have a new person coming in, get them, like I said, within the first 24 hours, I like to do it right away. Like, as soon as I get an enrollment confirmation with a member ID, I get them fast started right away. Again, Keith, who is, our IMD, Keith Willis, he's done a great job of establishing a system and a process specifically for our team. So we have literally fast start trainings almost every night. So we get our new reps plugged into that. There's no excuse. You have a training happening literally almost every single day that you can get plugged into. And we try to keep it simple. One thing that he taught me a very long time ago is don't try to give your new reps too much too soon, because it's called paralysis by overanalysis. You give them too much information and then they freeze, they get stuck, and they're overwhelmed. So what we do is we like to do the fast start, just give them the basics, the apps they need to download, get them plugged into the different groups. And the biggest thing is just get them to make their list and teach them the invite, the 4-step invite, which is, for those of you that don't know, if you're new, it's a simple process. The 4-step invite is simply, be in a hurry, clear the date and time, get excited, reconfirm the date and time, and that's it. If you can master that invite and you can help your team and teach your team to master that invite, we have Zoom webinars. So Pam, shout out to you for organizing all those amazing Zoom blitzes that you do. There's literally a webinar every hour on the hour, organized by Pam herself, and they feature the top income earners in the company. And you have an opportunity to get plugged into those things and have somebody else do the work for you. So if you can get really good at inviting, you can absolutely win in this business. So half the work is being done for you. So if you can just teach them to master that one concept, inviting, that's like 80% of this business. That's the hardest part. And if you can get them to do that, they will absolutely win. And if you can get them to win quickly, this is why fast is fun. If you can get them to win quickly, get their first person, their best friend, their mom, whatever, get them signed up within the first 24 hours, which we call a score in 24. If you can do that, that will not only build their belief level in this business, like, okay, this thing actually works, it gets them more excited, and you can harness that excitement and that energy to keep them going and keep them motivated. So I think that's the biggest thing. And just letting them know, if you're a sponsor, guys, treat people how you would want to be treated. If you're bringing somebody in new to this business, don't just be like, don't treat them like a number. Treat them, you never know what this person is capable of doing for you and your business, and you have to kind of cultivate that. You have to be willing to teach, and you have to be willing to spend some time and invest time in people so that they can be your biggest resource and your biggest asset. So put in that time to really teach people the at least the foundation of this business. Give them the tools and the resources they need to go be successful. And because the ultimate goal is to be irrelevant to your business, right? But you can't do that until you actually put in the time and the effort to develop your team and to develop leaders. And I think, again, another great thing that I've learned from Keith is really trying to develop leaders on your team.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. What is, what made you, because obviously we're all working to get to the next level, right? But what changed for you? Like, what has changed for you in the last, post, from momentum to now? Like, what has changed? Because there's a level of intensity that has been heightened, and you could be like, "Nah, Pam, you're tripping." But yeah, what's changed?
You're not tripping.
What caused the switch, girl? Because I need to know. Give me the sauce.
Absolutely. So you're right. There was a switch that flipped for me, and it was probably about 3 to 4 weeks ago that it happened. And honestly, I'm tired of being a marketing director. That's what it is. I'm tired of being a marketing director. It is time. And I know everybody has to run their own race, but for me, 2 years for me personally is entirely too long. And I'm like, all right, it's time to get to the next level. And for me, again, this is why having a strong connection with your upline is so important. I remember just being super frustrated. I was talking to Keith about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm hitting a plateau, and there's so many, you can blame it on so many different things. You can blame it on if you're busy at work, life is taking over, my team isn't doing this, my team isn't doing that. And one of the things, again, that I've learned from him is that if you want something to happen, you've got to be that change that you want to see in your organization. You have to be your own ace. You have to go get it done. And by the law of just attraction marketing, you will attract the right people to your business. And that's exactly what happened. So I just closed my eyes, went ham, started putting in a whole bunch of people. And, again, even when you sign up people, and you guys all know this, you will sign people up. Some will do some stuff and some will just, sign up, and maybe they'll wake up later, whatever the case may be, but some will come in and hit the ground running. And that's what we pray for. And even if it's just one person, as you can see, even just with one person coming in, it has made such a difference. I have made more money in the last 3 weeks than I did in the month of January, February in my business. So I don't take the pandemic, the corona off the table. That is no longer an excuse, because again, Keith says this, you give me an excuse, I'll show you somebody who's winning with that excuse. So it's not because you're not winning because it's a pandemic there. You're not winning because travel is down and people aren't traveling because of coronavirus. You're not winning because you haven't made the decision to go do it, to go get it done. And that's something Byron Trog, when I hit marketing director 2 years ago, Byron Trog sat in my car. We were literally, we had dinner and I was dropping him back at the hotel. And we sat in my car for almost an hour and a half and just talked. And the thing that he said to me before he got out of my car, he looked at me, he turned to me and said, Smita, not to mention he bribed me with $100,000. He said, if you hit IMD this year, I'll give you $100,000. But that's neither here nor there. He knew that wasn't happening. But he looked at me and he turned to me and he said, you are already an IMD. He said, I know that. He said, you're already an IMD. You just haven't made the decision to go get it done and become an IMD. So that really hit me. And that's when I made the decision. All right, maybe not IMD right this second, but MD for sure. And literally within a matter of weeks, I was a marketing director. And for me, it was like that same kind of light bulb moment that happened 3 weeks ago. I said, I'm an IMD, but in order to get to IMD, I got to hit that RMD level. And so I was just like, I got to go get this done. RMD is a pit stop to IMD, but I got to get this done. And I'm tired of saying that I have to get it done. I just actually have to go do it. Actions speak louder than words. And so for me, it was just a matter of hard work and just pray that I'm going to put in the work and the right people are going to show up in my organization. And I said, I don't need somebody to come in and become an IMD right away in my organization. I just want somebody I can build with. And that's what I prayed for, is just somebody that I can build with. And that's what I got. But again, faith without works is dead. You got to put in your part of it. You got to do your part and put in the work. See, a lot of times we just sit there and we pray for our A's to come and we're just sitting there not doing it. But, again, you're going to attract what what you're putting out there. So you'll track the type of fish based on the bait that you're putting out. And I was putting out, you know, hard work. I was doing it. I was actually going out there, making the calls, making new lists, signing people up. And thankfully and prayerfully, the right people did show up in my organization, and I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the difference. There's like not a week where we don't cycle at least 4, 5, 6 times. And fortunately for me, I'm cycling on multiple positions because of the way my organization is set up. But again, it wouldn't have happened had I not put in the work. And now my team, thanks to them, it's just been such a huge blessing.
Indeed, indeed. And I have a question also, right? So coming from somebody that, you know, comes from a corporate background, and obviously you're already at a very high level 6-figure, and you already, you know, make great money and things like that. And like you said, for you, you made the decision, right, to do something different. And a lot of times, a lot of us make those decisions. And sometimes if we have a different, you know, a background or like a type of profession, we kind of shy away from calling, right? And I see, I got some of my favorite people on here that are super educated. They're doctors, nurses, you know, professionals. And what does that look like for Smita, Sharma? Like, do you have a chicken list, right? Is there any trepidation whatsoever when you're gonna go share this with anybody? And I wanted to ask that question prior, right? But I wanted you to tell them, like, you know, what made the flip switch, because I can definitely, you know, relate to that. I thank you so much for answering that so beautifully. But I think it's also important for people to understand that it's like, yes, you can make a decision, but when you make a decision, don't just go out and call the people that it's easy, right? Don't just call the people that it's easy to call. Don't just call, like, granted, get all of your low-hanging fruit, right? But make sure that you're capitalizing on the entire opportunity, because now more than ever, and I don't know if you feel the same way, but it's like, I'm like, what chicken list, right? Like, I can reach out to so many of my former commercial clients, whether they're lawyers, whether they're doctors, whether they're engineers, manufacturers. So what's kind of like your take at that? Like, you know, is there a chicken list? Is there no chicken list? And if there is no chicken list, right, what's your mentality on that? Like, and why do you know, like, I know that so many more people in the corporate world need this more than ever.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, that's a great question. And I love talking about this because I always tell people a chicken list, so to me, in my mind, there is no such thing as a chicken list. See, we make our own chicken list. We put those people on a pedestal, and we assume that those people won't do it, or they're too good for it, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So I always tell people the chicken list is in your mind, and we sometimes are our own worst enemy. So to me, there is no chicken list because I don't believe anybody is better than me, or I'm better than anyone else. So we're all on a level playing field in my own mind. And second of all, if you truly believe that what you have in your hand is a blessing, why would anybody be on a chicken list? Why would you, be selfish to not share that blessing with somebody? Or if it truly is a blessing, why do you think somebody would turn their nose up to it, right? And so people ask me all the time, like, what made you say yes to network marketing? I don't knock anything where somebody is making a living from, like, point blank, period. Like, if that's your thing, that's cool. So to me, I don't think that network marketing is below or beneath anybody. I never had any stigmas about it. I'd never been part of a network marketing company, but to me, it wasn't because network marketing, it was just because I hadn't found the right product, right? And so I think that's the biggest thing, is truly having belief level. And if you don't have the belief level in the product just yet, maybe you're new, maybe you don't know enough to have belief level, get around people who are winning in this business, because I believe that belief and that excitement is contagious. So get around those people, because some things are caught, not taught. Get around those people and absorb, like, be a sponge, absorb that belief level. Ask them, like, why are you so excited about this? Why do you believe so firmly and so strongly in this business? And they'll tell you, so that you can build your own story and your own belief level and share that. Because when people ask me, why, how is your confidence on level 100? How is your posture on 100? Because you can't tell me this thing doesn't work. You can't tell me the money isn't real, that the trips aren't real, and you can't tell me this can't bless people's lives. It's blessed me. It's blessed so many other people. So my belief level is through the roof. So for me, because of that, I don't have a chicken list. I don't think I ever really have had a chicken list. I'll talk to anybody and everybody. But what I don't really do a lot of, and Eric Grzybowski, double IMD, Eric Grzybowski, founder of GPN, this is what he talks about a lot, is like, he doesn't believe in cold market, because I do believe my time is valuable, and I'm not a big, believer of just throwing spaghetti on the wall to see what sticks. Be strategic, about who you're talking to. Make sure your showings are quality showings. It's not about necessarily quantity, but about quality, because if you can get that one person that is quality, that has a good network, that is credible, right? Then you're going to be able to build through and tap into their network and really grow your organization through that. But the biggest thing, guys, is, attract what isn't in your organization. Those people that are on your chicken list, they're on your chicken list because they have credibility, right? And so maybe they're on your chicken list, and this is me just being 100% transparent. So this is my red. I'm apologizing in advance if I offend anybody. But honestly, if people are saying no to you, or saying no when you share this with them, they're not necessarily saying no to Rural Ventures, they're saying no to you. That's just what it is. So you have to be real with yourself to say, why are they saying no to me? Is it because of my credibility? If I'm lacking credibility, then go put those people in, go to your chicken list, put those people in your organization that have credibility. Find what it is you're lacking and go find that and put that into your organization, attract that into your organization. So for me, the biggest thing was, just sharing this with every single person, because you don't know who, and then sometimes we think about, oh, this person is up here, they know so many people, and they're gonna come in and kill it, and they don't do anything. So again, like everything that we, when we prejudge in our mind, because that's what basically a chicken list is, we're prejudging. When we prejudge in our mind, we're potentially blocking our blessing and blocking the blessings of other people. And I always say, you don't get to play God. Just show everybody, because you don't know what the future holds. You don't know what somebody's going to do when they come into your organization. So for me, I don't believe in chicken lists. And if you have one, it's because you're lacking, in my opinion, you're lacking the confidence and belief level required in this business, in your product, and in what you have to offer through World Ventures to other people. So get around people that have that belief level, so you can understand it, so you can build your own. And I think that right there will start eliminating your chicken list, because your confidence will be a lot higher when you go to share this with people. You won't be as nervous, you won't be as scared, because you'll truly believe that you have a blessing in your hand that you're trying to bless other people with. That's how I look at it. And that's what doesn't stop me from sharing it with anyone. But yeah, I definitely think, and I said this very early on, if Keith had counted me out, if he had said, you know what, she's already making multiple six figures, she's already having, she already has a travel discount, she doesn't need World Ventures, I know my life would look very different. I think his life and his organization would look different. And, he would have been doing himself a disservice, and he would have done me a disservice. So I'm glad he didn't prejudge.
Facts. Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing, Smita. If there's anything that you want to just, what's on your heart during this season, if there's just anything that you're like, you know what, this is on my heart today, like I can't get off this call until I share it, what would that be?
I think the biggest thing, and something that I've already talked about, is just making a decision instead of making excuses. Like, either you're going to make a decision to go get this done, or you're going to continue to make excuses as to why you can't get it done. And for me, I encourage everybody to stop making excuses, stop letting things like Corona or pandemic or any little thing, to stop letting that come in between you and your why, or you and your goals. Because honestly, this right here, this Corona pandemic is short-lived. It will pass. This is just another obstacle, because if it's not this, it's going to be something else, right? We're always able to find excuses to not do something. If you want change in your life, First of all, it has to start with you. You have to be the change that you want to see in your life, in your business, in your organization. So it has to start with you, but it can't start until you take the first step, which is making the decision to go get this thing done. And once you make the decision, you have to also plug in and execute. So we can make the decision, yes, that's the first step, but you also have to actually take the steps and take the initiative to execute. If you're not sure how to do it, plug in. Talk to the people that are winning in this season. Talk to your upline. Talk to whoever you need to talk to build your belief level, to learn how to cast vision during this time. Plug into all the webinars that are happening. Just execute. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And, I just feel like until you're truly fed up with your current situation, it's not going to, change isn't going to happen. So you have to ask yourself, what is it really going to take for me to be truly tired of being tired? And so for me, I was just tired of being marketing director. And I was like, you know what, it's time to take this thing to the next level. And I made the decision, but then I also took the next step, which was make a list, go call people, put people in the system, get them fast started and duplication. And now it's a blessing, but every day, by the end of the day, I have no voice left because I'm doing so many Zoom presentations. It's what we pray for. But, a lot of people, they want the end result, but they don't want to put in the work to actually get there. They don't embrace the process. They just want to see the fruit. And guys, that's not how this works. Anything worth having is worth working hard for. And so you have to make the decision to A, go get it done, and two, to actually do the work and do the work. And I promise you, it will absolutely pay off. It's so worth it in the end.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much for just blessing us today. Thank you for your servant leadership. Thank you, man. This was just absolutely amazing. I got pages and pages and pages of notes. And it's such a beautiful way, because I just love what you said, right? Just execute. And it actually, something that I want to end the call with today is just a quick summary of one of the books that was mentioned this weekend in United. That was Extreme Ownership by Joe Kolonick. And it's like about a team in Navy SEALs, right? And it's crazy because this book, like, I had heard the audio of it last year, and then one of my teammates, Grace, I don't know if she's on the line, Miss Garcinda, she actually got it. And, in this book, and then she was raving and ranting about it. And I was just like, man, I gotta really read this book. And something in this book that was just like, it just stood out, that it was just like, a leader is one that takes 100% ownership of the successes, 100% ownership of the failures, but that when it comes down to it, the leader is always executing, right? And when I think of, as you're been speaking and I've been taking notes, I'm just like, man, it correlates perfectly, right, with what it is that they're saying in this book, because the message overall is just basically like your level of discipline is going to be really your level of freedom, but it's just taking that accountability, taking that ownership of your dreams, taking that ownership of your life, right, taking that ownership of your business. And knowing, like, nobody owes you anything. Like, you have to be the one that says, hey, I'm going to make a decision to do something different. I'm going to be the one to do something, to actually get something, get it done, right? And execute it flawlessly, like you said. So guys, really quick, I want to just kind of go over like just 10 quick success principles. And that's how I'm going to end the call from this book, right? And one of them is like, the leader who takes responsibility for the failure is vital to the success of the team. And why they say that, because it's the attitude of the leader will always be the same for their team. So if the leadership or the management, it doesn't take responsibility for the mistakes, then that is going to be the same sentiment, the same behavior that we're spreading in our organization. So take ownership. Like, leaders are going to acknowledge mistakes. They're going to be able to admit their failures, but they're going to be able to take ownership of them and then develop a plan to win. Like, again, like Smita said, executing, right? Something that Joko Willenick says is that, Leaders must own everything in their world. No one else is to blame. Leaders must own everything in their world. No one else is to blame. It's like no excuses, knowing the ball is in your court. And it's like, going back to what Smita was saying, how, it's like, there's no excuses, like whether it's Corona, whether it's this, if something goes wrong, if something goes bad, you take ownership, but the leaders own the outcome, because you're accountable for your success in your life, in your career, in your family, in your business, period, right? So a leader is one that takes extreme ownership, definitely. Success principle 1. Number 2, there are no bad teams. There's only bad leaders. So what that means is that good leadership, it's contagious, right? So it's like, have you heard, like, all it takes is one rotten apple to ruin the next? So leaders are the ones that are able, especially in a time like this that is such uncertainty. A leader is one that is able to bring certainty in a time that there isn't any. A leader is one that is going to be able to transform people and their ability to get things done, because they not only are going to create a culture of accountability, it's a culture of teamwork, it's a culture of winning and how to win, right? And execution of that flawlessly. Sorry, guys, I'm just reading through my notes. But number 3, it's mission clarity. So let me back that up, right? So Simon Sinek, right? He says, there's only 2 ways to influence human behavior: manipulation or inspiration. We choose inspiration, right? And I say that because, you see, everyone on the team must understand not only what to do, but why. So the mission clarity, the leaders need to be able to explain it. We don't necessarily need to explain every single decision, but people need to know why it is for the greater benefit. Why is it for the greater good of the team? And let the team ask questions, right? Because we don't necessarily need to explain every decision, but we need to communicate the strategic picture in a way that everybody understands. You got a part to play. Everybody plays a position, right? Yes, there is definitely no I in team, and it's like you have gifts that I don't have, and vice versa. Actions and words are going to reflect the belief with clear confidence that you have. So again, that mission clarity and self-assuredness, it's not going to be possible if you don't clearly know what you are going after, right? Number 4, keep your ego in check. We hear all the time, your ego is not your amigo, right? Keep your ego in check when you're executing in business, if you're executing in life, if you want to grow organization, if you want to grow period in life, keep your ego in check. Your ego is not your amigo. Leaders are people that are always going to put the mission above their own needs. They're going to always put the mission above their own needs. They're always going to put the necessities, right? Whatever the team needs above their own. Now, number 5, act decisively, cover and move. So like Smita was saying, like, you got the plan, the ball is in your court, now move. So, but you got to make a decision and be able to know that it's like successful people make decisions fast, right? Change your mind slow. Average people make decisions slow and change your mind fast. So at some point, you're never see, and this is what it says in the book, and I love this because it's like, look, you're never going to be 100%, 1,000% certain in anything, but you might as well go for it, because when you are sitting around and just waiting on something to happen, understand that that's a decision not to make something happen. No decision is a decision. So when they're telling you act decisively, cover and move, it's like you got to execute, but you also got to know that the picture's never going to be fully complete unless you play your part in the frame. Right? You got to play your part in the frame so that the picture can be complete. Because if you're not playing your part, if you're not playing your position, like, you got to understand, there's always going to be risk, but you have to know what to do. Leaders are going to acknowledge the uncertainty, and they're going to mitigate the risk, right? They're going to tell you, listen, we're going to do this like this, because if we go that way, it's not going to look the best, but we're going to do it like this because this is the plan of action so that we can execute what we all want, right? So that we can obtain the goals, the dreams, and everything. And always understand that it's about being proactive, right? It's about being proactive. It's never about being reactive. And like Troy Brown said in this past weekend in United, like adaptability is our competitive edge. So yes, we're telling you to be proactive, but understand that the picture's never going to be complete, but you can't just wait around and do nothing, because waiting and for something is making a decision to not decide, right? To do some. So always understand that, be proactive, but be ready, right? Be willing to change if need be, because leaders adjust, champions adjust, winners adjust. Number 6, simplicity and clarity. So I see, you know, it's funny because I was talking about this with a leader the other day, and we're like, every time we see somebody's presentation, it's like, it's a different slide and it's a different this. And it's like, let me tell you something. People are not getting started because of the slides. Like Smita said, people are not getting in, or they are because of you, because they're buying into you. They're buying into your character. They're buying into your credibility. They're buying into your vision. They're buying into your passion, your certainty, your level of belief. But understand that complexity is the enemy. Like, keep it simple, KISS, right? Keep it simple, sweetie. Keep it simple, because the more simple that the goal at hand is, right? That's why it's like they gave us marching orders straight out of United, right? I'm ready for boot camp. Straight out of United. Listen, go make a list. Your 20 personals close to your next goal, right? Your 20 personals close to your next rank. Okay, go make a list. Okay, now let's invite. Now, okay, we have Zooms going on every hour on the hour. I know GPN is doing Zooms. I know every team is doing Zooms every hour on the hour. All of these Zooms are open to everybody. But the more simple you keep it, and the more clear you are as to what the goal is at hand, what the task is at hand, you're going to be able to execute flawlessly, might I add, right? So leaders are the ones that they're going to know, like, okay, we're gonna move with intent, but we're gonna move clear intent. But leaders also have, and you know, any leader on this call can agree, leaders kind of also have like that third eye to kind of see when there's an issue that's going to arise, and leaders are able to get in front of it. So kind of be prepared. So we're not necessarily planning for the worst, right? But we're like, what if in this scenario, we're gonna stay ready so we don't gotta get ready, right? So that's what great leaders do. So your plans are always simple, clear, and concise. Number 7, prioritize and execute. When leaders find themselves in a situation where there's multiple risks, it's gonna require their entire being, right? But more than anything, it's like, if you don't understand that you have to know what takes importance over what, you're going to be out. You're going to be out. We got to do this on a daily basis, right? Something that I've started doing that is just completely, you know, not only setting the tone for my day, but setting the tone for my sanity, is writing things out the night before for what I have to do. Writing things out. So what are my priorities? So yes, I got to get this done, but okay, this got to be done before this. So what I like to do is I'll type in my notes. So after I type in my notes and I type out everything I have to do, so then I'll go, okay, which one needs to be done better? Okay, this is 1, this is 2. Okay, let me rearrange it. And then after I type it in my notes, guess what? Now I'm going to write it in my agenda. Why? Because you have to prioritize and execute. Why is the leaders understand that you always want to identify what's your highest priority? Because it's always about proficiency, right? It's always about getting things done, execution. Number 8, decentralized command. In the military, we call this commander's intent. And it's basically when the commander says, you know, communicates what the plan is, and the troops have the troops pretty much use their own knowledge, right? And they're like, okay, based on what the commander's intent is, based on what the commander's objective is, this is kind of how we want to execute. And I love that, because it's just basically saying, listen, like, we trust their team, right? You trust each other. We trust each other that we're prioritizing, but good leaders delegate. right? I'm finding myself more and more so like having to delegate certain things. And you got to understand that it's just like, you got to make people better than you. And the only way that you're going to do that is by teaching people. You could give people the tools all day long. You can give them resources, but if you don't get them, if you don't throw them in the fire, by the way, shout out to Katie Ann. She had no idea she was getting thrown in the fire today. Excellent job hosting this morning. Right? You got to throw people in the fire, because see, those are the type of people that we want to know. These are the people that we call the leadership, right? These are the ones that are saying, hey, I'm raising my hand. You don't got to raise my hand for me. I'm ready to get to the next level. Because understand, there's thousands of people, right? There's hundreds of people, thousands in our organization. And we want to help everybody get to that next level of leadership. But the way that we know which leaders are the ones that are ready to get to the next level are the ones that are raising their hand without somebody to have it to raise it for them. But the ones that understand that it's like, listen, we are all in it as a team. I'm no better than you. You're no better than me. Rank does not determine leadership. Leadership determines rank. Right? Your level of proactiveness, your character, your willingness to help other people. Don't get caught up in the sauce, because there's a lot of people that have no rank that are doing a lot, that are significantly making an impact in this world, that are significantly making an impact in our businesses. There are peoples that they are not ranked up, but they have more impact in our organization on a daily basis because of what they do behind the scenes every single day, with the promotions, with the travel, with this, with that, then you know. And it's like, don't wait for somebody to tell you like, hey, I want to help. Ask, how can you help, right? So number 9, manage up and manage down. Okay, so in the book, they were talking about, it's basically saying how, you know, it's, you're engaged building relationships with the higher ups, like the chain of command. And it's important, like your mentorship is important, but it's basically kind of how, like we say here, everything good goes down, anything bad goes up. And I'm going to tell you guys a personal story, right? So recently we had an organization that has been on fire. And what happened was that the new rep, okay, had a disagreement with her brand new rep. And instead of picking up the phone and calling one of her leaders, right, or calling somebody that was in her upline, right, somebody that has been there before, somebody that has experience, somebody that has some expertise, what happened was that one negative seed spread like a cancer. It spread like a cancer, and it destroyed her entire organization. She's like, man, I wish I would have spoke to you about it first. You think? Guys, look, we don't just say these things because they sound cute. We're telling you because we know. If there's something that is bothering you, if there's anything you have a question about, if there's anything that you're like, hey, I need help, go up. Go up. The people above you are there for a reason. Reach up. Reach out to your leaders. Build those relationships. Raise your hands, right? Because we know that you're ready. You have questions, anything. It could be something bad. It can be whatever it is, negative. Maybe sometimes, and let me tell you something, right? Sometimes a question may not be with the intention, okay, of a negative experience. Maybe you have a question, but instead of asking that question to your downline, to your team, ask it to your leadership. Ask it to your leadership, because without you knowing, without you wanting it to, and I tell you, and I'm human, right? So sometimes I may say something and it's like my intention to communicate it was completely different than how it came out. And I'm like, I gotta fix that, right? Like, how do I do that? How can I fix that? How do I get better at that, right? You have to be able to understand that your job as a leader is to lead. And it's like positivity, you spread that down. Energy is contagious. More than 80% of this business alone is energy, right? So everything positive, keep it going to your teams. Keep that energy going through your downline. Anything negative, go up, reach up to your upline, reach up to your leadership. And number 10, discipline equals freedom. Discipline equals freedom. And discipline, it's one of the most important qualities for a team, for a leader. It's really the difference between being good and being exceptional. And a lot of people are like, but how can I be disciplined in the moments that I don't feel it, right? Like how does that happen? How that happens is making a part of your lifestyle. That's how it happens. Making it a part of your lifestyle. So those daily habits. So starting your day, however you start your day, right? Make it a part of your lifestyle. Reading, make it a part of your lifestyle. Whether it's your journaling, whether it's your meditation, your affirmations, your gratitude journaling, whatever it is, make it a part of your lifestyle so that in the days that you don't want to do it, you're still doing it, because you're not always going to feel the discipline, but you be disciplined, right? Don't forget about what you feel, right? Remember what you know, because your emotions, they will mess you up 90% of the time, right? But your feelings, no, like it's not the time to be in your feelings. It's the time to trust what you know. It's the time to trust the management, but it's the time to execute like no other. It's the time for us to understand that now is the time. Now is the time. Now is the time. And we heard that theme all through United. We heard that theme through this entire weekend. But understanding that it's like we're doing this thing together, and commitment lasts longer in community. So the reason that we do these calls, right, on Thursday mornings, the reason why we, right after this, we got building with IMD, Kia, and Josh Valentine, accountability. Go on there, start inviting for the Zooms. We got Zooms every hour upon the hour, because now it's execution. See, and we've prioritized what needs to be done. We've delegated some of the things. We've prioritized. We've made the list. We are now executing as a unit. We're executing as a team. So you're making the decision right now if you're going to hold yourself accountable. See, because the next 3 months, the next 6 months, the next 30 days will have not only an impact in your next 6 months, in your next year, but the next 30 to 90 days, in my opinion, is going to have one of the biggest impacts in your decade, if not your lifetime. So now's the time to execute, right? Now's the time to get it done. Thank you so much, Smita, for being on here today. Thank you so much for everybody tuning in. Thank you so much, everybody. As always, it is a pleasure. Much, much blessings and gratitude to everybody. We'll have this up by the end of the day on the YouTube channel, if that's okay with Smita. But thank you guys so much. Blessings on blessings. Thank you guys. Great day. Let's get it. Now is the time. Love you guys. God bless.
Thanks, Pam.
Thank you, Queen.